I don't have Peacock, so I'm watching her Cats.
We're live, but not recording yet.
Okay, it's fine.
But we're talking about Poker Face. You actually liked it?
Oh, it's very good so far. Well, I've only seen 1.5 episodes, and I enjoyed both of them. But I thought they were going to go somewhere with one of them, but they basically, it's. I like the format that they're doing. It's like the beginning of the episode is the actual murder, and then it flashbacks to like the night before with Natasha Lyonne being involved somehow. So it was pretty neat. It was like, oh, this is neat. It's a neat way of doing it.
Weird.
So it's enjoyable. It's interesting.
Why is she around so many murders?
Well, she's just on the road now. In the first episode, she works at a casino, and you find out that she was working for a mafia guy that found out about her because she kept winning card games, and she won all the time because she could just read people. She's just not cheating. She just knows how to read people if they're lying or if they're bluffing. She can tell. And so this mafia guy said, well, I don't want you to play cards anymore, but I won't kill you, but I want you to stay here, and you're going to work at my casino for the rest of your life, basically, and you'll be safe. And she goes, okay, that's fine. I don't care. And then Adrian Brody's in the first episode, and he's the son of the mafia guy, and he finds out about her, and he wants to use her to get some whales money because he keeps robbing them. Like keeps taking millions out of the casino, and he doesn't want to deal with it anymore. But then,
I started recording the podcast. By the way, we're talking. He's talking about Poker Face.
Okay, well, I don't want to go any further because it'll spoil. Watch Poker Face. It's a good show.
Yeah,
it's worth.
But the point is, I was asking why is she on the road and around so many murders?
Well, so far she just stumbles into them. That's the format. It's like the Incredible Hulk.
I was just gonna say Incredible Hulk
because she's on the run because the mafia guy. Because Adrian Brody jumps out the window, kills himself, and the mafia guy's like, I'm coming for you, you bitch. You better run.
Nose I will kill you. First and...
His nose exploded, and Las Vegas was flooded with snot and blood.
Yeah.
I'm going to kill it. I was in Predators. I was actually really good in that movie, but nobody watched it.
Scared.
Poor movie. What the fuck, fanboys? What do you want? I hate fanboys.
That movie was good.
They bitch and moan about everything. And then there's something happens in a show or a movie, and they're like, "Oh, it's stupid. This is stupid." Shut the fuck up. Go away. Just go away. I'm sick of this shit. You're killing everything that's enjoyable. Go away.
Speaking of stupid or good,
M. Night Shyamalan.
This one's my episode, so I'll do hello, citizens. Welcome to Hollywood is Dead 125. M. Night Shyamalan movies on Phoenix West. We did a James Cameron episode, and we talked about doing like a Michael Mann or Christopher Nolan. We'll get to them. I wanted to do M. Night for two reasons. One is I wanted to watch Cabin in the Woods or Cabin. Knock at the Cabin.
Door.
Knock at the Cabin. And I had just seen Old and was like, what the fuck was that? So I was like, we need to discuss M. Night. He's curious. He piques my interest only because he has movies that are ranked in my rankings from 2 to 10 or to 8. Sorry, 2 to 8. That's a wide range for a director. And he has like every score in between that, by the way. Literally.
Carpenter's probably up that way, I would say.
I don't have any Carpenter movies at 2.
I think that episode he did of pro-life.
I didn't have it at 2. As bad as it was, I didn't have it at a 2. I was actively angry.
Oh, okay. What's your M. Night movie at a 2 then?
Well, I'll go in order here.
Okay.
I'm assuming you did not make a list, right?
Oh, no,
I didn't think so.
But I can tell you off the top of my head I can tell you because I've seen all of his movies except for maybe Old and the last one. But the last one looked like it was all right, so I'd give him that one. But Old, I had zero interest in Old. I just didn't care.
Yeah, the only one I do expect you to watch at least the Coen Brothers movies that we're gonna do.
Yes.
At the end of the
well, yeah, I've seen all those. Yeah.
Exactly. So I won't blame you for not watching M. Night movies. I did sit down and watch all of them again or for the
Sicko.
first time, except for I didn't watch Split again. I didn't watch Sixth Sense or Unbreakable or Old.
Yeah.
But I had recently just watched Old for the second time like a month or two ago. So I'm counting that. But other than that, I watched them all,
Yeah.
including his first two movies, which are hard to find, Praying with Anger and Wide Awake. I've seen those for the first time. I watched them all the way through.
Now, Wide Awake is an actual movie, but
Yeah.
Praying with Anger, what was it called? They just said
Praying
it.
with
I
Anger.
forgot. Praying with Anger. Actually, I mean, hey, say what you will. Like, he stars in it, which is not great, but he's not terrible in what I saw of that movie because I fucking skimmed it. I didn't want to watch the whole thing.
We'll talk about it when I get there.
Oh, okay. Oh. Because his first movie, I thought you just opened with that.
No, it's a rankings episode.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
we're gonna do the same thing with Coen Brothers. We'll go through our lists.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay. Fine.
But
my least favorite is.
Should I start at the top or the bottom?
I think we should start at the top.
Okay.
Because I'm probably gonna agree with you on the top ones anyway.
We'll have less to say about the great ones.
Yeah, because everything's been said.
Number one, this is
Unbreakable.
I mentioned it has rankings through 2 to 8, and yes, it is Unbreakable.
Yeah, I would agree. That's my favorite of his movies. Yeah,
I mean, we'll talk very briefly about Unbreakable. It's just a solid movie. I like watching it. It's so perfectly paced throughout the entire thing.
Yeah, the shots are great. The sound design is actually really well done. It's wonderful. It's really good. It's just slow. It's a slow,
which is
movie.
My
fine. Yeah,
I love slow movies like as long as it's going somewhere.
Right,
slow burn is perfect for me. I always bring up the best example I can of a slow burn movie that's perfect is going to be There Will Be Blood. If you're not into that, you're going to hate it. But I fucking love that movie.
Yeah.
It is a slow burn, and it's a character piece. That's all it is. There's no real story.
They called me Mr. Glass. I was a bastard in the basket.
But Unbreakable, it's the good comic book story, good versus evil, and it's all set up and all paid off really well.
Right.
Has his twist without being too stupid.
And then M. Night, in 20 years later, ruins it. Just fucking ruins it so badly.
We'll get to that.
And it's just like,
we'll
get to that because he ruins it. I mean, oh my God.
My number 2, this is out of 15, by the way. There's 15 movies he did.
Okay.
So number 1, Unbreakable. Number 2 is actually Knock at the Cabin.
Oh, wow. Okay. Interesting. I would have said Sixth Sense.
Most people would.
Yeah.
I think most people, the average movie viewer would have Sixth Sense number 1.
Because, yes, I would agree with that. Yeah. But also, Knock at the Cabin is just way too new. I mean, that just came out. It's still in theaters right now. Yeah. I mean, that's fresh off the slab, you know?
A few weeks ago at this point, and I was like, it's perfect because it's very, very low key, where there's not a, you know the spoils and all that sort of stuff. But so if you haven't seen it yet, fast forward 15, 30 seconds, who knows? There's no grand twist. There's just not. It's just a simple story that has suspense, and you're constantly like, what are they actually doing and why are they, oh my God, and they'll sit there and like fall on swords in front of them and they're like, what the fuck? And it's like, oh my, like, is it pre-recorded news footage that they're showing them the whole movie? And you're like, I don't think so, but I don't really know. But then there's no twist at the end where it's just true.
Yeah, it just ends up being it is the end of the world, and they stopped it.
And I'm so glad he did that because I did not. Right. I was sitting there going, "What's the fucking twist, M. Night? I was so cynical watching this movie."
Well, that is the twist. The twist is it really happened.
Yes. The twist is
that's the
M.
twist.
Night stayed the fuck out of his own way.
Yeah, basically that. This is it. No, I'm not trying to trick you. This is what's really going on.
He wasn't that meme with the guy throwing the stick in his front wheel. Yeah, he wasn't him doing that to his own movie for once. Right. I'm like, oh, that was actually really good. And I was thinking about it days after. I'm like, it wasn't like a fucking amazing. Don't get me wrong.
Right.
I gave it a 7. I gave it 1 less than Unbreakable.
Yeah,
I really did enjoy it, and I'll definitely watch it again. And
Good.
Performances are great, and it's a simple movie, and that's all I wanted out of it. And
so your third would probably be, I would say, Sixth Sense. Then
my third is Sixth Sense. I
Yeah.
also gave that a 7.
that Sixth Sense is good, but I think in rewatching the reaction, because I watch people's reaction videos to it who had never seen it before, and it's always wonderful at the end when they go, "He was dead the whole time," and they cry, and they're like, "Oh my god, how sad!" But I'm watching, seeing the rewatch. It's almost a cheat because the movie it's not like Usual Suspects where the movie is lying to you on purpose. This one is like it's cheating. It's cheating lying. It is subversion of reality 100%. It's suspension of disbelief 100%, because Bruce Willis is standing in the middle of the aisle during the play at the end of the movie where he's doing the King Arthur thing. So that's like, well, that's weird. Why is he been standing the whole fucking time watching the show? Because it's kind of a fire hazard. Marshall wouldn't let that happen, but he's just there.
Yeah. A good usher would have escorted him to a seat.
A good usher would have got his ass out of there. But then, like, he's talking to the ghost. He's made peace with everything. And it's a good movie. Don't get me wrong. Sixth Sense is good. And that was like the biggest hit of his career. Made big money.
Oh, yeah.
I remember when it came out in theaters and it was like.
He's still getting work for that movie.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. And no one spoiled it, which was kind of amazing back in the day. That movie was like number one for 8 weeks in a row. Nobody ever spoiled it. Like, it never came out. And I think I saw it probably 2 weeks after it came out. And I was like, oh, that was a good twist.
And then
of course,
movie came out and had the fucking
Oh, that was hilarious.
My
so what is
I was watching it and I was like, I wasn't surprised when the reveal happened. I don't remember if I guessed it. I don't think I did, but I was like, oh, he's dead.
No. Yeah.
And then I was like, so what was the movie then? Like, other than that twist, here's like comparing to The Usual Suspects, that movie works without the twist. This movie does not. It's like he's trying to help the kid. So if he doesn't reveal to be a ghost, what's the movie? That's why I was like, I never loved it as much as everyone was obsessed with it. I was like, I don't get the movie. If it weren't for the twist, then I just can't figure out why this would be happening.
Right.
But
you're not wrong.
Great performances. Everyone's good in the movie. It's really well shot. And he did put a lot of detail into like making sure nobody actually looks him in the eye and stuff.
Yeah.
I always say M. Night is a very good director, terrible writer.
Yes. It would be best if he directed
Kevin Smith.
Directed other people's scripts. He'd be better. Like, I think Rob Zombie. Rob Zombie would be better directing other people's scripts.
That is, yes.
Because he's got a nice style. He's got a nice style. It's kind of fun. He knows how to make something look good. Except when they start talking, that's when you know, oh, that's this movie.
Yeah.
People get hot dogs and button right.
Stick that stick in their front wheel while they're riding the bike. And just, and it's like, maybe if you just don't write it, you won't.
No.
Yeah, it's not to say Sixth Sense suffers from writing. It's just it's really, really good and very well done, but it didn't strike that like this is fucking incredible. Like I got.
Well, if you didn't have Haley Joel Osment, the movie don't work.
Yeah.
So without Haley Joel Osment, the movie's nothing. So again, it's a little bit of both. I mean, Haley Joel sells it because he's like like all the time, he's crying, scared, blah blah blah.
Yeah. This is where we have I have the same score for this movie as I do with The Sixth Sense, but I feel like it's far inferior.
Number 4.
Number 4 is Split.
Wow, you go that high with Split.
Yeah. I
would put
only seen it once.
Signs before Split.
I've only seen it once.
I've seen it 1.5 times.
Yeah, it could be lower on the second view, but I did enjoy James McAvoy in it. He's right above your name. The word "dick" is on his face, right above you.
James McAvoy is a great actor, and Split, he does a hell of a job, and I give him all the credit in the world. Great. That script is the dumbest script maybe ever written, next to Isle of Wight, whatever that movie was. Grand Isle, maybe just as bad, because the way they explain, well, split personality. Like, no,
Yes.
no, that's not how that works. No,
That's typical M. Night expository dialogue by a doctor character. He has that in so many movies.
It is Adaption, the fake movie that Nick Cage is working on in Adaption. This is the movie. Like, it became a reality and splits the movie.
Yeah,
that's what it is. So yeah,
it is. Where in Adaptation, Nick Cage's brother Donald is talking about, and Charlie Kaufman is asking Donald about how are you going to film the scene where he's not chasing himself with the motorcycle, and he goes, trick photography. He's like, I don't think you know what that means. Love that scene, and it is that movie.
Great.
But I did enjoy the movie, and that's all I cared about at the moment. But I have not rewatched it. I've only seen it once.
Yeah, and
it would have been the next
Joy. It was Anna Taylor-Joy's last screen appearance of her giant breasts, and they've never been the same since. Because she got too skinny. Now she's smoking she's eating cheeseburgers, she's smoking cigarettes.
And she's working non-stop.
Non-stop. She's in every fucking thing.
She's in an X-Men movie and nobody noticed.
The New Mutants.
New Mutants. I just rewatched that as well. And her Russian accent is just terrible.
Hello, my name is Girl from movie. I turned into a giant
my bear. Rapist. She has like the saddest story in that movie where she sees like this face. She has like nightmares. The other girl has her powers. She can make your nightmares come to life. And Anna Taylor-Joy had a rapist when she was a kid, and she created like this thing looking at the ceiling, and it was like the smiley face. It was called like the Smiley Man, and she would see like Smiley Man coming at her. She was getting raped as a child, and it was the saddest backstory for a character. It's like, why is this in a PG-13 X-Men movie?
Isn't that in one of the Meg Flanagan movies where she's the Haunting of Bly House, where she's a social worker and she talks to the little girl. She says smiley face, and it's her dad raping her, but she looks up and there's a smiley face on the ceiling. Same concept,
no, not even same.
It could have been taken from the comics. Same thing, but it could have been from the comics. I don't know, because comics were done 30 years, 40 years ago.
But I will say, Haunting of Hill House did it way better.
They did. It's very good.
It actually impacted the characters' motivations, but I digress.
Now Mike Flanagan's doing Dark Tower now for Amazon. He left Netflix. He left Netflix. He said, "Fuck you, Netflix. I'm out," and he's doing, which I'm very excited about. If he can do Dark Tower, that'd be amazing.
Dark Tower's in the future. He's doing something else, some other show that's coming out.
Yeah.
It might be his last show with Netflix.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
I'm gonna look it up right now. But
The Haunting of Dick House, number 5.
Oh, here. Oh, sorry, I haven't pulled up right now. He is doing upcoming The Fall of the House of Usher. That's what it was.
Oh, that's right. Yeah,
I was looking at that.
Right.
That's also
number. I would say number 5, Signs.
Number 5 is actually The Visit.
What? Holy shit! This is off the rails.
I gave it a 6.
Wow!
Because of how stupid and schlocky it is.
Holy shit!
It is amusing to no end for me.
Oh my god, that is.
I saw this thing in the theater.
I did too. I saw that one in the theater.
I love watching those old people freak out nude.
Yeah.
And the only thing I hated is we kept making fun of the white boy rapper.
Oh, so annoying.
But what is M. Night?
It's an M. Night thing. That's what he does. Quirky characters.
He does,
cultural appropriate.
He does quirky children who are secret geniuses. He does that in so many movies.
They're all autistic as fuck, and they're smart. So there you go.
This kid is one of them. The girl, the only reason it's found footage is because the girl's making a documentary about meeting her grandparents for the first time. But when when the old grandpa is revealed to be just a psychiatric patient who killed the grandparents, and he shoves the diaper in the kid's face, it is cinema at its finest.
I agree.
It's James Cagney with the grapefruit.
You're right.
It's
funny.
Oh.
It's chef's kiss. It's wonderful.
It's perfect.
It's wonderful. And then Catherine Hahn, who's oblivious to the worst mother in the world,
Yes.
oblivious to your children being with two psychotics. That's not your grandparents.
Well, I gave this movie my 5 slot because it's the part of me that loves B movies. I like the schlockiness of this movie.
Well, I understand
how far he goes out of his way to make sense of the plot he created for himself.
It is a Herculean task.
Catherine Hahn did something when she was like 16, 17.
Right.
And hasn't seen her parents since. Won't even look at them online. They have the grandma character fuck up the lens on the camera. The camera on the laptop. So that explains why they can't do video conferences with the grandparents there.
Well, they did that on purpose because they.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. But it's so out of the way to make sense of the plot, and it's just a perfect blend of so fucking dumb and also like
genius,
amazing laughter at the old lady going. Scratching at the wall. I'm like, this is so dumb. Yes. I had an emotional reaction to the movie, and that was, what? Why? The whole movie.
To be number 5, that's so high on this list.
Yes.
We haven't gotten to the bad ones yet.
No. Number
6 would Signs.
You know what? Actually, my number 6 is it jumped up like 7 spots after I rewatched it the second time. We saw this movie together.
Oh, The Village.
The Village.
The Village, yeah. Yeah, The Village is fine.
I liked it. I give it a 6. Nothing.
The Village is fine.
Too much, but I made fun of this movie so much. And you want to tell the story? What you told me?
You tell, because I don't remember. But if I said I'm a genius, so you tell the story because I'm proud of myself for this one.
M. Night is such a schlocky a-hole that Dick actually. Like, I don't fall for this shit ever, but you also ruined a lot of movies for me. And we were going to go see The Village, and you go, like, I already heard the spoiler. I'm like, oh God, what? I'm like, what could that possibly do to fool us? And you go, well, they, it's all these white people there. It's Bryce Dallas Howard and Mobley and Joaquin Phoenix, and they go outside, and there's a black dude. And it's all there's black people outside the village. I was like, oh my God, really? I for some reason just bought in wholeheartedly. So I'm sitting there in the theater watching, waiting. And my recollection was the first person they saw was M. Night. And I'm like, oh my God, he's right. But in reality, watching it again he meets the white guy. He meets the white guy who takes him to M. Night. And I was like,
Right. Okay, all right. There you go.
Now I got to watch it with a fresh mind, with nothing.
That's
planned, like thinking anything. And I was like, "Oh, this is actually a good movie." I thought I remembered that William Hurt was way more sinister. Him and Ripley. Why am I blanking on her name? Sigourney Weaver. Oh, I thought they were way more sinister, but they're not.
No, it's basically they wanted to get out of the city because they had a tragedy, and that's what they want. They're very serious about it. It's noble, but at the same time, it's like it's not going to happen. This is Town you're talking about.
And again, he goes so far out of his way to explain to cover up the plot, which is William Hurt's father was a big billionaire banker, or he made a ton of money on the real estate market. So he's a billionaire, and he died, and that's his tragedy and why he goes in here. So now it's called whatever their last name is, Reserve, and it's also Bryce Dallas Howard's last name.
He didn't die. He didn't die. Somebody was murdered, and he wanted to get away from society, and that's why he puts the walls up, and he doesn't want. Yeah, well, that's the reason. It's not just.
But it explains
he's murdered violently.
I'm just saying it explains why they don't know the other world exists, because they have so much money that M. Night has a line of dialogue there in his security booth where he goes, those crazy rich bastards made it so we can't fly planes over the reserve. And I was like, oh, come on. Yeah, right. Fuck you. So dumb.
Those crazy rich bastards.
It's him explaining,
and now he's
covering up his plot with a line of dialogue, like, "Oh, don't look too deep."
I bet. Guess what? Now he's a crazy rich bastard. Does the same fucking thing. I rewrote air traffic so I don't have to deal with it. I don't like hearing planes when I write my scripts. When I write my twist scripts.
Him and Tim Burton must get along famously. We need to have an interview with the two
Oh,
of them.
I doubt that. I think Tim Burton probably can't stand him.
That's what
Tim Burton's going to out artist him. Their
They're
hair,
talking to each other.
they both got that crazy hair. I want to draw a picture, and it's going to explain my motivation. But
the bigger question is why neither one of them worked with Nick Cage. Neither one of them.
I'll give it time.
All right. So what were you saying? Sorry. My number 6 was The Village. I gave it a 6.
Yeah, that's fair.
My number 7 is Signs. That also jumped
finally
up
Signs.
Yeah, I don't like.
I mean,
Signs.
it's not a terrible movie.
I had seen it twice before. Didn't care for it. This time, I found it enjoyable. I liked it. Didn't love it. Give it a 6. I have really nothing else to say about it.
I am a crazy person. I am a madman. Or what did we say? He was running around the house. I am a crazy person. I'm enraged.
I feel like
M.
Night has
Breslin in it.
Yeah, he has to have that one joke where it cuts to the joke. He does it in every movie at least once. And in this one, it's he's calling his brother. And he's like, "Oh," blah, blah, and he comes home, and then the brother just has a tinfoil hat on, sitting on the couch. He just cuts to them. I was like, "Oh, well, there's this one joke."
Yeah.
Gotta have that visual joke. I like the performances in this movie, and I actually wasn't bored by the plot this time for the first time ever. I just found it.
Signs is fine.
I don't like the stupid backstory with the wife and the water and the baseball bat. That's mostly what I focused on the first couple of times I saw this, where I fucking hate that shit.
Well, you're not.
Why are they on Earth?
Not wrong. It isn't. This 3/4 water. These fucking aliens are the weakness is water. Why would you come here? That's your first mistake. So M. Night Shyamalan, he's really he is the patron saint of suspension of disbelief, and that's just what he is. It's like nobody's going to care. Nobody's going to notice that because they're going to be enthralled with the twist that I provide for them. It's like, M. Night, the Earth is 3/4 water. What?
It's not War of the Worlds.
I thought it was only 1/3.
Where they caught a virus. Where viruses don't make up 3/4 of the planet. So they didn't know it was there. It's microscopic.
Battery acid. Right.
Like, who fucking knew?
And not even alienation. Alienation, seawater was battery acid to the aliens, but that was seawater. This was just water. Didn't matter where it came from. Water. So there's more of it.
Air.
Yeah. So Signs. Joaquin Phoenix, who he worked with again, The Village, Signs, and then Village with Joaquin Phoenix. Both featuring Joaquin.
And he's great in both.
And then M. Night does a double feature with Bryce Dallas Howard, but I don't think we're getting to that one next, are we?
We're not getting to that one for a little while. My number 8.
That's the bottom of the bottom of the barrel.
You think so, but it's not. But my number 8 is actually Praying with Anger. I gave it a 6 as well. Okay. I watched the whole thing. It is It is his first movie, very low budget, but I actually found it interesting.
It is an interesting. There's a lot of stuff in it that I thought, okay, this is pretty good for a first timer. Hey, give him credit. It's not terrible. It's actually and it's a plot that you can follow.
Yeah, no, it was well done. It was made in India.
For what? Yeah.
It was a story because nobody's seen this fucking movie. It's on YouTube for free. But he's an American who gets punished by his mother and has to go live in India. He's sponsored by this family. He goes there and he gets in a lot of trouble and stuff. And he actually, it's just a typical redemption tale, kind of. I don't want to say redemption, but he learns a lot of lessons there where maybe I really did need to be sent here, and I learned these lessons, and I helped people, and they helped me. Really simple story, but I found myself just sitting there watching, and I'm like, these actors are really good. And
Yeah,
there is some schlock in
it
it.
was
Like
natural.
he's in college, and there's bullies, and they're like, "We're the
I saw
seniors.
that part.
You salute us." And I'm like, "Okay, I don't."
I saw
Whatever.
your sister. I saw your sister last night. I
Yeah.
thought about her. That's what he said.
Yeah.
I thought about her in my
I got
bed.
shoes around the I love at the
What do you
end where
think that means?
they kidnap the school dean or his teacher, whoever that guy was, and M. Night like beats the shit out of the guy and just stops and lets him go. And the dean's like, he's a good American boy, because everyone's judging him right off the bat.
He's a
And then
good
at
American
the end,
boy.
he sees the
He uses
bully
his
at the school.
fists.
The dean let the bully back in because he didn't kill him. So the bully gets reinstated in the school, and they see each other, and
Fantastic.
the bully goes,
wonderful.
and M. Night goes, all right, bye. And leaves. And he has a romance subplot. It was
M. Night can kick anybody's ass. You know that, right?
Yeah. He does get his
M.
ass
Night
kicked
couldn't kick
the whole movie, though. I'll give him credit for that.
Okay, fine.
He does.
I didn't see that part. Okay.
At the very end, he catches him because he had a knife to the professor's neck. So he goes, "Bah!" It worked. I didn't mind M. Night as an actor. I liked him. He
seemed all right in this movie.
I believed him.
Yeah.
I think it's because it's more personal than anything else he does, and he felt like he belonged in that role, and I believed it.
Yeah.
He had some lines.
All the actors are believable.
Good.
There's not really bad actors in it. They all seem legitimate. So it's like okay.
Yeah.
Good job. I can see why you make movies.
But you expect that director who keeps putting himself in movies where you're like, oh, he's distracting, like Woody Allen. But I was like,
he pulled that off, and Lady in the Water, though. That was the epics of his putting himself in movies, and you're just like, okay, guy, let's stop doing that now, and we'll get to that.
Speaking of in several movies, the next one on the list, number
7,
is Glass.
Oh, I hate Glass. I hate Glass. I hate it. Glass was so bad. Glass was
the start of my 5s where I start to not like movies. Sorry, continue.
No, I would agree. It's just I kind of was excited for it. It's like, okay, Split ended up being a secret Unbreakable sequel, which was funny.
Oh, we forgot to mention that.
Glass comes out.
Yep.
Yeah, well, that's there you go. But it's a secret sequel to Unbreakable, which was funny. I thought it was funny. And I don't think anybody understood that when they saw it in the theater, though. That's the thing. Because you're talking about a movie from 20 years ago. And Split came out like 2018 or whatever. So it's been a long time. And Unbreakable, I don't think a lot of people saw Unbreakable to understand that bit at the end of the movie. So I was laughing. And I was like, I was going, do you guys not know what's happening here? Do you guys not understand what's happening? You don't know what's happening. You guys are fucking dumb. Like, watch a fucking movie. Like, what are you guys doing? How come you guys don't know what Unbreakable is?
This movie of all movies?
Right. Well, I was Split. Split was, like I said.
Sorry.
No, that was it. Because like I said, it was a secret Unbreakable sequel. Because he didn't know that was coming till the very end.
I'm so sorry.
Nobody knew what Unbreakable was.
Going to talk, but you're on a delay here, so I'm like, nope. But I don't know when you start talking. But you're right. Yeah, we didn't talk about the ending, which is the secret, like, backdoor sequel, and that's what I already like. Split. I do like Split. I wish that was it. Like Jay Ballman says on Red Letter Media, I wish that was it. See, he's in the same universe, and that's it. We do not need a third one. But
because then they expand on that mythology.
I'm going to make a movie. We're going to have that big epic showdown, and it never happens in the movie.
Right. Glass,
nothing fucking happens. The biggest obstacle in this movie is a bunch of flashing lights in the corner of the room. That's the biggest obstacle.
No, it's the Sarah Paulson and her ability to clear out a room in a hotel, like in a hotel diner or something.
It's true.
Because
everyone works
society. everybody in the secret society that can say, "Oh, we gotta go, guys! Come on, get the extras out of here. We gotta have our meeting, our secret powwow, because we're so powerful in the middle of the day, in the middle of this crowded area, just to
She
show off
shows
how
up and she
powerful
goes,
we are."
she's like, everybody out. Ryan Murphy rented the place.
And too bad Sherlock Holmes already did that joke. Sherlock Holmes Game of Shadows when they killed Rachel McAdams. They already did that prank.
How
They
dare
did
you kill
bit.
that ass?
I know. One of the best asses in Hollywood.
One of like 5 white women. I'm like, yeah.
Oh, yeah, I know. It's hard to find. It's a tough one. And then so that was number 9 was Glass.
Yes, but I also want to float a theory with you. I wish, and this will be quick. I just wish the movie was. I really did enjoy the part of Glass where they're doing the pre with Sarah Paulson when
Okay.
when John McClane is walking around with his son and working together. I wish they
Right,
incorporated
yeah.
that with Samuel L. Jackson, and they met,
Yeah.
and we never went to the insane asylum / X-Men facility because that was fucking dumb. But it had a good setup,
Yeah.
and then it just goes, and you're here, and fuck you guys. It felt like a middle finger in the middle of the movie.
No.
And it gets so
I think
fucking
he wanted
bland
to just wrap up
and flatlined.
He wanted to wrap up the most inconsistent trilogy in the history of filmmaking.
For no reason.
A trilogy that nobody asked for.
Yes. It felt unnecessary and just like, oh shit, now I gotta make a third one. Like the studio, now they're invested and the people got excited because of a 30-second shot of Bruce Willis at the end of Split. Now I gotta do it. Fuck. All right.
Before his brain split.
It's true. Before it shattered glass.
It's now poor bastard.
Number 10. Number 10 is old. I give it a 5.
Wow, okay. All right.
It's a Twilight Zone movie. It really is.
Now it's based on a graphic novel though, but is it one that he wrote or someone else wrote it?
I assume
I
someone
think
else
it's based
did.
on a graphic novel. So I guess this is him adapting somebody else's work.
Old graphic novel. It's called Sandcastle. I think. Fuck off. I want slate.com. I just want to know the name of the. Anyway. But.
The name of the game.
Right? You said you haven't seen it?
No, I want to see. I didn't care. Yeah, I know what happens. I know exactly what happens, but yeah.
Yeah, someone else.
People
looks
get
French.
old on a
bunch of French names.
Yeah, I think it's French. I think it was a French graphic novel. It's an island resort. These people go off, and you turn a corner. Yeah. You basically age like multiple years in 2 days or whatever, and it gets to the point where I guess like I guess people said it was well acted, but I didn't care. I just didn't want to see it.
Oh my god, are you fucking kidding me? You heard that?
Yeah, people said the acting was actually not bad in it, right? Because there's a scene where they have an emotional scene talking about like growing old, like literally, because they have no choice now, and how much they're going to lose things to this moment, but they got to live in the moment now because it's all they have. Something like that. I don't know. Maybe I'm thinking of another movie.
Can I play you a couple scenes from this movie?
Yes, please do.
The reason it has a 5, the plot itself is like an 8. It's a really interesting plot. The reason it goes to a 5 is because of the acting. The acting is some of the worst acting I've ever seen in my entire life.
Why don't you play?
All right. I just want to fast forward to a random ass scene here.
That sounds like a porno.
They're fine. She's fine. But the main characters, this guy and this girl, the guy from Motorcycle Diaries. Oh, the daughter shows up. She's all old now. But
I got titties.
Sorry. All right.
Of those coffee table injuries. Hey.
He has the M. Night dialogue, which is very, very smart. And this kid right here has like, well, the Jupiter ascension was, and he just talks like that, and you're like, you're fucking 6, dude. Just shut up. But he turns into Nat Wolf later.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm gonna fast forward.
No, Mom, we're scared.
Please, stay right here. Okay? If I cry, please don't let them see.
I want to.
Did you see how flat that was?
Ooh. Yeah,
It's
that's pretty boring.
literally the worst acting I've seen in a movie this big, maybe
Wow.
ever.
Wow.
The plot is awesome. It's an interesting as shit plot, but then you get these performances, and every character and they're good actors. These two, I've seen them in other stuff, and they're great. But in here, it's just a fucking flat line. But Nat Wolff's always great. The guy from Lost is great. You saw him a second ago. Everyone else is fine. They're not amazing, but it's serviceable, and it really needed to be a Twilight Zone episode. Just a really short 30-minute thing. The beach is aging them. As with M. Night stuff like Wayward Pines, like his TV shows, or Servant, once it gets past the main story and expands outward into the reason this story's happening, that's where it gets really interesting.
Right. Okay.
And that's the part I was actually invested with. And I'm like, I wish the movie was way more focused on that, because there's a reason this island's like this. You find out. And I wish there was more devoted to that instead of as much as there was to aging, because that gets old after the first 3 times you see it. At one point, they have a baby.
Old gets old after a while.
Dick, you'll love this. The children grow up and they're teenagers now, and they're fucking, and they have a baby. And as they're holding the baby, it's aging at such a rapid rate that they can't feed it in enough time, so it dies.
Oh.
The baby dies like right away. They have to fucking do a funeral for it. I'm like, oh my god,
Jason, like, fucking dark.
Holy shit!
God damn, that's dark.
So that's my number, whatever, 9, 10. What'd I say?
I think 10
Number 10
or 9.
Number 11. And you've seen this one, Lady in the Water. Number 4. I gave it.
Wow,
a 4.
that I thought Lady War was gonna be the last one on there.
I did too, but then I rewatched the other ones on here.
I can't imagine why the others wouldn't make it either. Lady Water is, I think, the height of his pretentiousness.
Yes,
he left Disney said, this script is bad. We don't want to make it. So rewrite it, or we're just going to part ways. He says, well, I'm going to part ways. Fuck you. I love this script. Bryce Dallas Howard is my champion. And he sold it to Warner. And Warner Bros. Was stupid enough to buy it. So they paid him a bunch of money for it. Movie comes out, and it basically is like mediocre business at best. And people see it, and they're just like, oh, this movie does suck. This is terrible. And M. Night Shyamalan plays Jesus Christ too.
He does. That was what I hated the most.
Literally,
about it the first time I watched it.
He is Jesus Christ too. I'm
It's-
writing this book. I don't know. It's about stuff. I don't know.
It's about politicians and political. People aren't going to like it.
I'm calling it the cookbook.
He sounds like a teenager.
I'm writing a book called the cookbook. Ugh.
I will say this. I watched this again for the first time, just like Signs or just like The Village.
Yeah.
But those two, I was like, I like this more. This time I went, I'm not as mad as I was the first time because all I focused on the first time was M. Night is playing the hero for his writing. And I'm like, he is so fucking full of himself. It's all I could think about the entire movie. This time I knew that going in, so I was thinking about the plot, and I'm like, I watched it with my wife, and I go, what the fuck is happening? She goes, what do you mean? I'm like, why does she have to go in the water? What is the lady in the water? What is this backstory? What is that little demon, the grass demon? Why any of this?
Monster, yeah. Right.
The eagle's gonna take her? What the fuck is this story? I'm like, honestly, what happens if she dies? What's the stake here? And she goes, I have no idea. I'm like, exactly.
It's a fairy tale that he told his children when they were growing up, when they were going to bed, when they were developing into hot women. Because now his daughters are grown up. You're like, holy shit!
I said that. And
your wife got some good genetic material. No, you're right. I agree. But his wife is hot. His wife is actually really beautiful. I was shocked. His wife was like, oh my God.
He's a good looking man.
Job, M. Night.
He's a
He
good
is
looking man.
He is actually not a bad looking guy. He's actually
No.
a handsome man.
I'll say
I'm
he's a
gonna
handsome
if
man.
that was an arranged marriage, if he was an arranged marriage, good job.
So well,
Because they are. Indians do have arranged marriages, even
Yeah,
in
but they're not
America,
from
they do,
India.
'cause-
They're from Philadelphia.
you know, even Americans do. Even American Indian families do. Because
don't
I
think
know my buddy had a fraternity brother who was Hindu Indian, and his marriage was arranged. And I think my other friend, his marriage, like I remember my friend, I knew him years ago. I think his marriage was arranged. So they're it's a business. They get married and like they like each other good. If not, whatever,
Yeah.
you're gonna have kids and move on. That's how that works. It's like Fiddler on the Roof.
I think it's more like it is. Yes, they still do that definitely, but I think it's more like some families do that. I don't think
more
his was like
traditional
that.
families.
Yeah.
I don't
'Cause
know.
the movie,
Maybe.
I'm going off the movie Praying with Anger that he wrote, and his whole thing was, I'm not that
Right.
attached to the tradition.
Right.
And it's about him learning
But
the
then at the
tradition and
end-
learning, like the respect that they
Yeah.
have for teachers and like people, and you're like,
Well, exactly.
culture.
Yeah.
So I don't think he really grew up that entrenched into the Indian
No,
culture.
you know what it was? You know what it was? You know what it was? M. Night was pissed off that he was arranged marriage. And what happened was he saw the picture of his wife. He goes, "Oh shit, never mind. I love this culture. Thank you, culture. I didn't have to
dear
try
God.
for this one. This is fucking great. Thank you,
There's got to be some
gods."
guys in these marriages that are like, I wouldn't have got her any other way. And there's some that are like, oh, fuck you.
God damn it.
Fuck you, Ganesh.
Fuck. It's her cousin. Her fucking cousin.
They tell a
looks like
story in
Ganesh.
Praying with
God damn
Anger
it.
about how Ganesh has an elephant head. And I'm like, are you fucking
Yeah.
serious? That's the story? I didn't know that.
Don't feed my god a peanut. Thank you. Come again.
He got, yeah.
Ganesh,
We
you
needed a
want
poo
peanut?
here. No, but it's, I guess in the story, they cut off a guy's head, and the only thing they can find to replace it with is an elephant. So they throw
That's
an
a
elephant head
big
on his
head.
body. I'm
That's
like,
just
damn,
comically inaccurate. That's
savage. Yeah,
comically
it is.
awkward.
Should be way fucking bigger and just like a bobblehead.
Yeah, exactly.
But Lady in the Water, I couldn't tell you what the story was, and if she dies right now, if she died the second she showed up at Paul Giamatti's place, couldn't tell you what the consequences were.
Right.
That makes me not give a shit. I don't know. They needed
Wasn't
to
it
set
about
the
his
story up
character?
before the movie begins.
Right, because didn't he have a backstory or something, and it was prevalent to the movie?
It was the only good
Is
part
that
of the movie.
What it was?
His wife
backstory?
and kids were killed by a home invader. So now he's working
Yes.
as a super, and he's fixing up, trying to fix everyone else's lives.
Right. Okay.
It reminds me of another
right.
movie I hate that was written by Bono, who I hate, called $1 Million Hotel, also starring Mel Gibson.
Yeah.
Fucking hate that movie. Fucking hate this movie. I didn't hate it as much the second time, but I still hate the story, and it feels pretentious as all hell.
I like to write
Like,
movies and Bono.
At a certain point in this movie, you need to start ducking because you're going to get like M. Night money shots in your face because he's just jerking off all over this movie.
I love it. I'm so smart, and I love the greatest thing ever. I never won an Oscar, but fuck you.
Bryce Dallas Howard keeps like spoiling
myself.
his future, where she goes, "You're going to be assassinated. You're going to see one of your three nephews by his hot ass sister in this movie. She is hot,
right?"
But moving on because I don't want to talk about this movie anymore. Number 12. Second time watching this thing. After
Not
Earth.
The Happening. Oh, I forgot about After Earth. Ooh,
you're gonna forget about a couple of these coming up. After Earth,
that's
not a good movie.
Oh, that's right. Last
Airbender. You just remembered another movie that's coming up.
Just remember last. You know the best thing about Last Airbender?
This is why I wanted to talk about him.
The best thing about Last Airbender was the teaser trailer, because the teaser trailer was awesome, and it had its own soundtrack.
Let's wait.
Oh, it's not even close to. Oh my god!
After Earth.
Is that the
After
last?
Earth.
That's the last one. Okay, After Earth. After Earth. Welcome to Earth.
Will and Jaden Smith. Will Smith and his son.
Is their first and last movie together.
it felt like real life because it's just him being a total dick to the son. The son willing to do whatever he can to impress his dad. The ultimate lesson is don't be like me because you want to be like me. Be like me because you're also a piece of shit.
Don't
That's what I
be.
got out of
You can't be Jim West. You can't be Agent K. J, whatever it was in Men in Black.
It's
You can't be a rapper, a rapper slash clean rapper.
Eminem got
From
to swear in
Philly?
his. Will Smith ain't got to swear in his songs to make money.
But I do.
It's a. This movie's not pretentious, but I'm like, why did you make this? I can't figure that out for the life of me. Why
money,
M. Night
it's
in this
money.
movie?
I don't money. This was a period of his career where it was waning. And I think it was it was after The Happening, and that was a big bomb, I think, for him. And
I want to say
critical failure, and a commercial failure. So he did this for money. I don't think he wrote the script. This is a script written by other people, unless he attached his name to it, like on the end. I don't think he wrote this movie. I think this was a spec script that he just decided to direct because it was money. And he thought Will Smith was going to be the way back in. And little did he know, Will Smith was on his downward spiral in a career at this moment.
This movie is from 2013.
Ooh. Bad dates.
Yeah. It is boring and stupid. But watching it the second time, I wasn't as focused on what was going to happen. So it did help a little bit because I knew not to be bored at certain parts, but I knew what was coming.
Did you confuse it for 65? That Adam Driver
No.
movie that just came out, where it's the same plot, basically.
I'm not going to see that movie. I was just kind of like, oh, this is happening, and here we go, and it is what it is. At the end of the day, I'm like, I have almost no feelings other than I was kind of bored, and I don't care about any of the characters or what happens to them. Because again, it goes off what I was saying, Lady in the Water. If they die, doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. I would say the world would go on, but the point is the world won't go on. Well, the world will, but not humanity. They're not even fucking here.
Right.
Doesn't
no,
fucking
we went
matter.
to another planet. Yeah.
Yeah, and I didn't give a shit. They had that stupid thing where the soldier stands up and salutes Will Smith at the end with a missing leg, or at the beginning. And later on, he stands up and salutes his own son. I'm like, God damn it. Chekhov's cripple standing up, I guess you call it. It was so dumb. But it's just like, wow, why? Inoffensive though, but I don't particularly like Will Smith that much.
No.
And he's really bad. He just seems like a total dick to his child, which I guess is the point, but fucking didn't care. If he stabbed Will Smith in the heart the second they landed, I'd be fine. Sorry, what?
Yeah, but if your son was Jaden Smith, wouldn't you feel the same way?
Well, he's Jaden
Stop
Smith
going on Twitter.
Your fault.
Don't write on Twitter, Jaden. You're not that smart. Stop pretending to be smart. It's not. You're not so smart. Deep. You're dumb. Don't.
It is a whole family. An entire family of fucking idiots. That everyone loves them, but I don't think they think they're smart. I don't think the regular person thinks Will Smith is that smart.
God, no, they don't. Nobody does. Nobody ever saw that.
And when the Oscar thing happened last year with Chris Rock, I wasn't like, oh my God. I was like, yeah, they're fucking idiots. They're idiots. As soon as I hear someone's a Scientologist, I go, oh, they're fucking dumb. Like they're just dumb, or they're greedy, or whatever reason they get involved with it. None of it I want anything to do with.
Yeah.
Anyway, number 13, and I'll touch very briefly on this because you haven't seen it, but it's Wide Awake. I give it a 4. It's a second movie.
Wow, so that's that low. Wow, isn't this at least? Oh, Rosie O'Donnell's in this one, right?
Rosie O'Donnell. It's not that one. I don't know what movie that is, but it's not this one. I gotta
find it. It's somewhere. I'm gonna find it right now, and I'm gonna give it to you.
But
I'm gonna send it to you.
I'll talk and describe the movie so you can listen to it later, I guess, because you're not listening now. It's
I'm
a
listening.
kid whose grandpa dies. The grandpa's Robert Loggia. He's barely in the movie. I was hoping for way more of him, but it's just a kid looking for God after his grandpa dies. That's it. He's looking for a sign that there is a God. He's going to Catholic school. Rosie O'Donnell plays a nun, is obsessed with sports. She's got all the Philadelphia stuff you can imagine. Crazy, right? To see Philadelphia represented in an M. Night movie.
I know. Go figure that one out, huh?
Yeah. It's stupid. It's boring. It's from 1998. It tries to do the kid coming of life story, but it doesn't have the jokes or the charm or the highs and lows of that. It is a kid
Right.
sleepwalking through a performance, and no fault of his own. He's a kid that's on M. Night. He's just sleepwalking of, why am I not getting a sign from God? And the kid's fine. He's a good actor. He's still working to this day in a bunch
Who
of
is
stuff.
it? Who is it?
Oh, God. It is Joseph Cross.
Okay.
He's in Milk, Flags of Our Fathers, Lincoln, Licorice Pizza, Mank. He's in a ton of Mindhunter. He's in a ton of stuff.
Okay. Oh, okay. Yeah. I think I know this guy. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll show his picture right here, but he's a good actor in this movie. It's the problem is he had nothing to work with in these scenes, and I've never said that about about a kid actor before. Him. If you want to look at the screen,
Yeah. No. Yeah. For sure. Yeah. He's in a lot of stuff.
he's a good actor.
He's actually he's a good actor.
I just was so bored and I didn't care, and eventually there's like a weird Fight Club thing because the kid is looking for a reason to looking for God. He's on a mission to find a sign from God. And he keeps seeing this, like, he keeps like looking around and like my stupid friend over here, or the bully, and he's like going to them and talking to them. And he finds like a little more motivation to keep his search going throughout. It should be a sweet scene or sweet movie with these combination of scenes that I'm going to describe. He helps the bully who gets kicked out of school and says goodbye to him. And Rosie O'Donnell's like, that was very sweet of you. You can tell in her look.
Mm.
And then he goes to his friend who has epilepsy, and he's like, he helps him and saves him. And he goes to another friend, and the guy at school that has no friends, and he's like, oh, let's hang out. And then he goes to this one kid who's walking by the school who's like the weirdo and nobody talks to him. And at the end of the movie, they're taking the class photo, and Rosie O'Donnell's like, we're missing a student. And he sees the kid walk by, the weirdo loner kid, and he goes outside and he's like, hey, you're missing the photo. You're missing the photo session. You should come back in. And he goes, you don't need to keep looking. God is real. The kid's like, looks away, and he comes back, turns back, and the kid's gone. He's like, oh, and the credits. A film by M. Night Shyamalan. I'm like, oh, fuck you.
That's bizarre. So I sent you the footage. Please play it now for everybody in the messenger. Rosie O'Donnell in a made-for-TV movie, which was probably not the best thing to make, but this was a different time, and I miss these days. I miss these days of bad ideas.
Problem is, though, it's gonna play with YouTube, which I cannot play on this. I can play the video.
Oh, you can't play the audio because the audio is basically the whole fucking point. It's just the audio. The audio is what matters. No. Do you hear it at least?
Yeah,
you can hear it. Okay, fine.
Podcast listeners in the video, only you won't hear it.
Riding the Bus with My Sister was the name of this movie. She's getting on a bus.
Never go full retard.
Mentally challenged. She goes full retard in this movie. Oh no.
M. Night? That's all I'm gonna play.
Oh my. Oh, it's so great.
I wouldn't.
What a wonderful era. I like tell I'm a dummy. Riding on the bus with my sister.
That's the movie name?
That's the name of the TV movie.
Oh my dear God, this is the best comment I've ever seen on YouTube.
No, no.
Oh.
What is it? Which one?
Hold on.
You laugh.
How do I find the comment? I went too
Where'd it
tight.
go?
All right, here we
You went too tight.
go.
That's cool that they created a row of rows. You could just be yourself. Fantastic. 4 years ago. Beautiful. Kate Schneider, I want to marry you.
Oh my
Wow,
God.
that's hilarious. That's pretty powerful stuff right there.
We are doing a live show and played this clip. This
a 4-year-old.
Really the best
4-year-old comment.
YouTube comment I've ever seen.
She's probably dead.
You deserve. What does she
parade.
deserve? Parade.
A parade.
I wrote prod. Parade. There we go.
A pride parade. She deserves a pride parade.
You deserve a gay pride parade.
Hello.
I used to be gay, straight, but now I'm gay. I think that drug made me that way. Eventually, we will do Kids in the Hall Brain Candy on the show.
That's right.
With Scott Thompson walking on the road. Yeah, sorry.
Wide Awake was your 15th or 13th movie?
13th.
Wow,
number 14.
Okay, so shit. Okay,
these are the last
has
two.
to be The Happening.
Has 14 is The Happening. I gave it a 3.
Wow. Okay. Wow. Okay. I was going to say that.
I don't have much to say. I just have a question. Do you remember this movie fairly well? Like the characters?
Yeah.
Do you remember the characters fairly well?
Kind of. Yes.
What the holy shit was happening with Zooey Deschanel in this movie? She's like an alien. But
yeah,
she admits later to seeing a guy once for lunch. And that's the extent of the affair. But she acts like a fucking alien the entire beginning of the movie.
Well, you know who the guy is on the phone? Do you know who the guy is on the phone?
I don't remember. I don't pay attention.
M. Night Shyamalan.
Of course it was.
I
knew who it was. I just
that's who it was.
I just have
so give him
so
credit. He puts himself. To give him credit, he's less and less in his own movies. So give him that much. I'll give him that credit. He's learning to step away from putting himself in these movies.
I'll give him credit for something else, but only after I finish my list, because I got a quick thing to say after, and then we'll be done. This movie fucking sucks. There's no point of it other than kind of environmentalism. For a second, they kill some children in this movie via shotguns, which actually found surprising.
Oh, I love that.
I was like, oh my God, I forgot about that.
It's so funny. It's so stupid, so funny. Get out of here, you buttheads! And they get blown away with a double barrel shotgun. I was like, oh, M. Night, you read my mind. Thank you, sir. Thank you for this wonderful moment in cinematic history. Blowing away 2 annoying children with a double barrel shotgun. Listen, you buttheads, or whatever he said. I feel like he calls them. Well, the twist ending is it just ends, and everybody.
It just ends, but it also cuts to France, and it's still going on there.
Which good.
Starting there.
Good. Hopefully, it keeps going. Mais oui, monsieur.
Other than the only reason I gave it a 3 instead of a 2 or 1 is because of the stupid suicides in the movie. Because those are incredible. The guy feeding his arm to a lion.
Guy lays down in front of a big lawnmower.
That one, that's the one I thought. Remember we were talking during this movie, and I told you I thought Johnny Legs died a horrific death. That's the one I thought he did. I thought he was the one that laid in front of the lawnmower. But instead, he just shows up. He just stabs himself in the neck with some glass.
He kills himself being shot out of the front window, and he just cuts himself open. That's it.
He picks up some glass from the windshield, and it's the camera's not even on him. Really, it's in the back. Like the camera,
Now, granted, there are some really cool shots. There are cool shots in The Happening, though, when like they look up and all the guys are jumping off the top of the floor of the roof. The construction guys, and like one at a time they're falling down. Like that was cool.
Yeah,
there's some cool stuff in there, but the movie sucks.
That's what I said. That's what saves it from a 2 or 1, because the story is one of the worst stories. It's not even the story that's bad; it's the way it's told.
Right.
Where because Mark Wahlberg figures out the actual plot of the movie and what's really happening like 25 minutes in. And then he
Right.
doesn't do anything else to solve or reaffirm that theory. He just kind of bears witness as
No.
these people die.
Run against the wind.
There's that great scene where
Run away from
they're
the
staying,
wind.
yeah, they're staying at the crazy lady's house, and she kills herself on by slamming her head into the windows in the back and the glass.
Right,
And
yeah.
like that part's fun. Again, it's like
Yeah,
the
that's
village.
good.
That part, the village is just that scene for a movie,
Right.
but it does deserve a 3. It is terrible.
And we come
Number
to the
15.
worst movie of M. Night Shyamalan's career. One that he
The
really
Last
has nothing to
Airbender.
do with.
Yeah,
I
and you
think
could
what
tell.
he rewrote the script, and everybody who liked The Last Airbender said, "That's not the show. Like, what are you doing? You had all this
Yep.
wealth of material. You could have had a giant franchise, and you fucked it up so terribly. People who love the show don't even want this uttered in their presence. This movie, and
then you get the
again,
whole
had the
washing
best.
thing.
Well, whatever. Yeah, I mean that stuff doesn't. I don't care about that shit because it's a movie. At the end of the day, I mean, I don't really give a shit about that. But
It
it's
just
just
adds
a boring,
another
terrible
layer.
movie.
Yeah, it doesn't.
It's another
distract me
layer of
from
just
liking it anymore, but it is.
no.
It was a big deal when this movie came out, though. I don't
Right,
give a
but
shit.
now they're
Of course.
overdoing it.
Yeah.
Now it's just like, okay,
just-
oh my god, every other character has to be a different person. This doesn't exist in reality, but whatever.
This
I
is
mean,
just a movie
you
that's.
don't-
You shouldn't have this much expository dialogue and voiceover, and I still
No.
don't know what's happening and why I should care.
Yeah, there's
I'm like,
fish.
okay,
There's fish.
They're going to Fire World now. What?
The princess is a fish.
Fucking
She's a fish in a koi pond. Then she comes back to life in the bucket.
and they kill it
and they freeze
she
everything.
sacrifices herself. But
The kid does a
what's
bunch of
his
kung
name?
fu moves, and he's like the best ever. Dev
Slumdog
Patel's in it.
Millionaire is a
Yeah,
an evil
Dev
fire guy.
Patel. Yeah,
Yeah, exactly. And he's like sometimes good, sometimes bad, but ultimately doesn't fucking matter. Doesn't matter.
hold on.
I just watched the entire movie again for the second time, and I cannot tell you what happens in the movie. Like sections of the movie are just faded from my memory immediately.
The Last Airbender came out in 2010.
Yeah.
So yeah, he did After Earth after this one because he had no choice because this one was a giant disaster.
Yeah.
Let's see. It is box office. The budget for this movie was 150 million. Okay, worldwide gross 319. So it doubled its money, which means it broke even probably.
Yes, but
that's still pretty
if
bad.
you didn't factor in Asia, he would have tanked so fucking hard.
No, and everybody hates it. Like, it is universally hated by every Avatar, The Last Airbender fan in the world. So that didn't help matters much. But
I don't know.
So that's his worst movie.
What that show is, but the worst.
Well, the show's huge. The show, it's a big show. It's a big show. It's a big show.
Well, he couldn't call it Avatar because James Cameron kind of snuck in and stole it. So I guess we tied the 2 episodes with James Cameron and this together finally.
No, because Avatar: The Last Airbender came out way before Avatar. Avatar took that name first or second, because Avatar: The Last Airbender has been around since like 2000.
That's what I'm saying. He couldn't use Avatar for The Last Airbender because James Cameron stole it for his movie Avatar.
No, but it's based on Avatar: The Last Airbender, which was out way before Avatar, James Cameron's version. Avatar: The Last Airbender has been out since like 2000. It's been around for 20 years. It's like a massive.
That's
show.
exactly. We're saying the exact same thing.
No, you said James Cameron used Avatar first. I said no. Avatar came
James
out before
Cameron
Avatar.
stole the title. That's what I just said. James Cameron stole the title Avatar.
You didn't say stole. You said used. You didn't say stole.
Rewind the tape. No, anyway,
go back to the tape.
Terrible fucking movie.
It's bad.
honestly
It's bad.
no redeeming qualities. The only reason I didn't give it a 1 is because I can hear the dialogue.
Well, did you notice the unusual close-ups in that movie? Because there were reshoots, and like the camera is this tight on the boy, because they're basically in a parking lot doing the scene over again, and they can't show anything else because if you did, you'd realize it's 16 months later,
Because
and
he
it's
had to
not.
take
It's
acting
like
lessons.
ooh. Well,
kid
it
is
didn't
terrible.
work. It didn't take. Didn't take. The bald kid is terrible.
No, there are those scenes, especially when he shows up at the first village he tries to help. And he goes,
Right.
"Elders, overtake the fire people." And it cuts to him. And he's like, "I will do it." So awkward. Oh my god, this movie's just first of all, I fucking hate anime. I fucking hate anime. So a movie
I'm not
based
a
on
fan.
anime is already doomed for me. So it is a personal preference, but also this movie's terrible. And the fans who love anime are on the same side as me. So yeah, I think the fans definitely have it on this one.
Yeah.
I do want to mention briefly before we go. I do like his 2 TV shows. He started Wayward Pines, which is a show I was obsessed with. I was like, this show's really fucking good. And then like episode 4 or 5 happened. And I go, and you just spoiled the entire mystery of the series. They tell you what's really happening in this mysterious show.
Was it just one season?
There's 2. But imagine if Lost came out on episode 4 and they're like, Jack, we're all in purgatory. And you're like, why the fuck do I care then? Like, at least they wait until the end of season 6 to reveal.
Yeah, they waited till season 6 to fuck you.
But at least you had enough time to enjoy the show and the characters. This was Matt Dillon and who the fuck else? A bunch of great actors. Toby Jones is on there. Terrence Howard, Juliette Lewis. It was a great cast. And it had this mystery, which is like this town, and they kept the intro for the show was like a little model town, where Beetlejuice lives. And they kept showing that, and I'm like, oh fuck, are they living in there? What's going on? Why are they all there? They all wake up at the same day. Like they all wake up and they're like, what the fuck happened? And they don't know why they're there. They can't get out. It's the same thing I talk about with the show From that you should watch. But this goes episode 5, I want to say, just goes, oh, this is what's going on. And you're like, I don't give a shit anymore. I don't care. And then there's another fucking season after that. And you're like, why do I care? And then they kill Matt Dillon and Jason Patrick takes over. And you're like, what is that? Why do I care? You killed the cast of the last season for a show I already know the ending to. It was baffling. So then I started watching Servant when I got Apple TV Plus. And I was so ready to fucking make fun of it. And I was like, this is going to be terrible. M. Night's terrible is great sometimes. And then I watched it. And then I watched the second episode. And by the time I knew it, I finished the first 3 seasons. And I'm like, I really enjoyed this show. Like, I think if I were to rate and put Servant in the top 10 or the top 15, it'd be number 2 after Unbreakable. Like, it is really fucking good. If you haven't seen Servant and you're a fan of M. Night, I'm not going to spoil anything. Watch it. The new season came out. I have not seen it yet. I will get to it eventually, probably when the baby's born. But definitely check it out if you're into that sort of stuff, because it is not the stupid story about a fake baby I thought it was going to be. It turns into a whole fucking thing. I was like, a fake baby in M. Night. This is going to be amazing fodder, B-movie stuff. After a handful of episodes, you don't even think about the fake baby so much anymore. It's not even about that. It's just like the setup for this story.
So
I keep waiting for
you mentioned Juliette Lewis.
Yeah.
And on the subjects of mentally challenged people and movies that were woefully
in Scientology.
The Other Sister, Gary Marshall classic, where Juliette Lewis plays a mentally challenged girl who falls in love with a Down syndrome boy played by Giovanni Ribisi.
Scientologist Giovanni Ribisi.
Yes. Yeah, and Sarah Paulson's in it, who's also
really?
in Split or in Glass.
I've never actually seen that movie,
Yeah.
but I've seen it was on HBO, during that time, and would catch scenes. I'm like,
Oh
oh
yeah,
no,
it's
I'm good.
on. Yeah. Oh
You know,
yeah.
we should do like top 5 movies where someone plays someone with a severe mental deficiency. Like I Am Sam. You got the other
Rain Man,
sister. You got
Dominic,
Riding.
Dominic and
Geely,
Jean. Oh, that's true. That's true. There's a retard
Justin
in Geely. I
Bartha.
forgot. Ooh.
He does the full hand thing. That's like autism in his.
Yeah.
He's
not
mom.
good.
We're done, right?
Wow.
M. Night.
We're done. We
I'm
are
looking forward to
done.
a
Let's,
movie
let's
called
leave
Crap.
him.
We didn't mention the movie Devil that he wrote. We didn't mention Stuart Little
failed.
that he wrote.
That's true. 1 and 2, by the way. But Stuart Little 1 was a big hit, which is why there was a 2.
I saw that in the theater.
What? Oh my God! Why?
Because it was free.
What are you
thinking? I worked in the theater.
I don't care. Even if you worked, why would you watch Stuart Little?
I saw it for free.
Dumb movie about a mouse.
Because it was, dude. You don't know how small. With a town of, it was the town over, so it was 2,500 people. That was considered the big city for me. And like 6 theater. And after it starts, you're done. So I'm like, fuck. I guess I'll go in the theater and watch the movie. And then my friends, like a couple days later, my friends wanted to go watch it, so we snuck in at the last minute, even though I didn't have to sneak in. But
oh my God, Jesus
then,
Christ!
We're sitting there, and we were at MST Theater from the back row, just making fun of it. And it was the first time and last time you'll ever see a crowd on board with what we were doing, because there's no kids in there. Everyone was making fun of it. It was one of the best movies experiences I've ever in my life. Stuart Little. Everyone made fun of the movie. So I'm actually glad I went and saw it in the theater.
Well, that's good. That's at least you did that.
But Devil's terrible. The toast.
Devil was the beginning and the end of the Twilight Zone anthology movie saga they tried to make. Didn't take.
No.
Where basically it was a series of films based on M. Night Shyamalan ideas, and it didn't happen. Thank God. It didn't get off the ground because that movie failed.
His name is not on Stuart Little 2.
Huh, shocker. Yeah. Oh, maybe he didn't write it. I thought he did. Okay, well, whatever.
E.B. White wrote the book. Him and Greg Brooker wrote the script.
Michael Rooker wrote the script for Stuart Little 2.
There's 3 of them. No, it's just E.B. White,
God.
Douglas Wick, and Bruce. Yeah, he didn't have anything to do with the other ones.
Wow, they made 3 of those movies.
That means M. Night converted the movie into a screenplay and didn't create any original characters, because his name is not on the second and third movie. That's a faithful adaptation out there.
Interesting.
All right, until next time, which is Dick chose Dark City.
Yeah.
The week after that, I chose this. I got it in the mail today. Once Upon a Time in the West.
Oh, nice. Okay. Nice.
So those are our next 2 weeks.
Let me know if that transfer is any good.
In the meantime, it has both the theatrical and the what's it say? Oh God. Restored and theatrical version, whatever that means. It's a minute long.
Whatever that means, yeah.
I don't know.
So, yeah,
I'm Phoenix West.
Take it.
So long, citizens. Bye-bye.
Good M. Night Shyamalan.
No. This is the last Airbender joke with you, okay? No more. There's signs pointing to this being done. This joke is like glass, and you're walking all over. It's getting old. I'm gonna take this back to the village.
6 cents.
Okay.
There you go.
Stupid. The worst
I wish
bit
I was
ever.
wide awake with my 6. I wish I was wide awake with my 6 cents to take that old glass from splitting.
Fuck that. I'm praying with anger that you fail. Okay. Bye.
I'm on the train. I'm on the bus.
Who is that at our cabin door?
Knock, knock, knocking on a cabin door.
And that's how the podcast ends.
And